So in this video, I'm going to help you go from ambitious but lazy to ambitious and driven. By the end of this video, you will get the clarity you need to start doing what needs to be done to accomplish your goals, so you can finally be at peace with yourself again, because your goals and your dreams deserve the version of yourself that will actually take action. I'm speaking from experience. For the longest time, I wanted to write a book. I've wanted to be a published author since I was a child. It was almost an obsession. The problem wasn't that I didn't have goals. I'm naturally ambitious. I've always been ambitious, but I just couldn't take action until I learned what I'm about to share with you in this video. So let's start with a question that might just change everything for you. Is this ambition really yours? Look, before we even start talking about how to overcome laziness, we need to make sure that the ambition you're chasing, the dream you're chasing, the goals you're chasing after are actually yours. Not something you were told to want, not something society expects of you, not something you're doing to make your parents happy, but something that truly resonates with your soul. Make sure that your ambitions are actually aligned with your purpose, the reason why you're here, with your authentic self. Because think about it. Maybe the reason why you're finding it so hard to take action is because deep down, you don't really want what you think you want. I had to learn that the hard way. You know, growing up, I was always told just how important money was, right? I was raised by a Haitian parent, a Caribbean parent. If you know anything about them, when you're picking a career, you have to pick a career that will give you a comfortable way of life. They mean well, right? I was only allowed to be a doctor, a nurse, an engineer. So being raised by a single mom, I saw her working multiple jobs. I knew what it was like to struggle. I was told that I was supposed to chase after money, work for money, save money, invest in money. But I did that. I went to law school, got the career, got the money, but something was still missing. It still left me empty inside. And that's when I learned that I was not motivated by money. I mean, I definitely value, financial stability. I definitely don't want to struggle to pay my bills, but I'm not motivated by money. That's not what makes me want to take action. So ask yourself, what motivates you? Is it knowing that you're making a difference? Is it creating generational wealth? Is it freedom? For me, what really motivates me, what makes me want to get out of bed in the morning, is knowing that I am on purpose. What makes me want to take action is feeling like I'm helping the people I came here to help. I'm making a difference in people's lives. Once I realized that, my entire perspective shifted and I began making decisions not because of the money, but because it was aligned with my purpose. Because I know that if I do anything else, I will not be motivated. Chasing somebody else's dream will always feel like an uphill battle because it's not your dream to achieve. Authenticity is what's going to keep you motivated. When you're going after dreams and ambitions and goals that feel authentic to you, the energy and the drive you need, the motivation you need will naturally come. In my case, I realized that the reason it was so hard for me to take my writing seriously is because I was still struggling with the fact that I wasn't doing it for the money. I thought that only things that made me money was worthy of my time. And that was the struggle I was having. But once I clarified my values and I gave myself permission to change my mind about what truly matters to me, it became a lot easier to start writing the book. I'm actually working on my book proposal right now. So take some time for introspection. Here's what happens. A lot of us want to go high without going deep. You have to go deep. You have to go inside of yourself and make sure that the actions you're taking are aligned with who you came here to be. I know that many people find it so hard to spend time with themselves, right? We distract ourselves by going on social media and doing all the things. But if you want to solve an issue, you have to diagnose what's wrong first, right? You don't do more. You pause and you figure out what the root issue is. So I'm going to give you some questions and I want you to answer them as if they were being asked by your doctor before they make a diagnosis. That is how serious and honest I want you to be with yourself. Answer those questions. If no one else was watching, what would you really want to do with your life? What makes you feel truly alive and fulfilled? What just does it for you? What are you naturally drawn to, even if it doesn't lead to fame or fortune or people's approval? What activities make you lose track of time? What problems do you naturally want to solve? What do you like to share with people? What solution do you want to come up with? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? I know that it can be scary to let go of ambitions and dreams and goals that are tied to your identity because you've had them for so long, but I want you to give yourself permission to change your mind. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to pursue a path that is more aligned with your values because that is where the motivation will come. This step is so important because I would hate for you to waste your time and your effort doing something that was never meant for you. So now that you've checked in with yourself and clarified your true ambition, let's go deeper. Let's go back to the basics. I actually went and looked up the definition of ambition, right? What is ambition really? What I learned was that it's more than just a want, right? There are many things that I want, random things that I just want. Like I would just randomly want to go outside, or randomly want to, go for a walk, or randomly want to take a nap. But that's not an ambition. An ambition is more than just a want. It's a strong desire. It's a craving, something you just have to have. It's a yearning for something, for achievement, recognition, or making an impact. So what is it that is more than just a want for you, right? What is it that's like a craving, a longing, something that just makes you feel so alive, and you just have to go after that thing? And that's why it's so important to answer the questions I asked you earlier, because it's so important to make sure that it's not just a want, it's not just something you're doing for somebody else, but that is a longing, a craving, a thing that you have to do before you leave this earth. It's a true ambition, an honest ambition, an authentic ambition, because you just cannot get it out of your mind. So dig deeper, go deep within yourself and find the seeds that were planted by God, the things that you are here to do. Ask yourself the hard questions. Give yourself permission to change your mind. Ask yourself, what does success looks like to me and feels like to me, specifically to me, not to anybody else, but to me, right? If you're a visual person, I recommend that you create a vision board. Everyone talks about vision boards because they work. Using images and words can really be important tools to help you to connect with the dream and the goals that you have. Because when you connect with the dream, when you connect with the goal, that's how you take action. The reason for that is because as human beings, we're emotional beings. The reason why you don't take action is because it feels better not to, right? The reason why you go on social media and scrolling all day, even though it's not good for you, is because it feels good to do it. The reason why you get home every day and just go on the couch and watch TV when you should be going to the gym is because it feels better for you to just watch Netflix. We're emotional beings. So we have to be aware of that truth and connect with our dreams and use that knowledge about us being emotional beings to our advantage, right? Connect with your dream on an emotional level, connect with the goal on an emotional level, really go deeper and ask yourself, why is this so important to me? What is it? How does it make me feel? How would it make me feel if I accomplish that goal? Really go into the future and really experience how important that goal is to you, because honestly, you're gonna need your emotions to be on your side. Okay, let's talk about now the lazy label, because when I heard of this whole video idea about everyone calling themselves ambitious but lazy on social media, I kind of paused when I heard the word lazy. Sometimes we label ourselves as lazy, but it's not really accurate. Maybe you're using the word lazy as a convenient and lazy excuse, right? Instead of going deeper. Sometimes the reason why you're not taking action is not laziness, it's stress, or it's anxiety, it's fear, or it's just not your dreams for real, right? Or maybe it's overwhelmed, or maybe you just need to rest, or it could be something deeper is what I'm saying here. Like it could be more than just a lazy feeling. It could be something a lot deeper. So I want you to really find the root of the problem. The reason why it's so important to find the root of the problem is if we keep it superficial, you won't really feel a transformation, right? You might watch this video, maybe make a change for 1 week and don't really keep it going for the rest of your life. What makes you consistent, what makes you keep going, what makes you truly transform and change your life is when you go deep, right? So let me explain. It's my belief that most of us aren't really lazy. We're uninspired. I know in my case, when the stakes are high enough, right? When I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and when I know I really want to do what I want to do, when I know that my future depends on it, I always find a way to take action. For instance, I'll give you some examples, right? I realized that, by reflecting and doing the activities that we talked about earlier and answering those questions, I realized I put myself through college for free because I knew that my single mom couldn't afford it. So I did what had to be done. I passed the bar exam on the first try because my career depended on it, and I was still living with my mom, and I knew that my life depended on it. I landed a job within days of passing the bar exam because I had to pay the bills, so I did what had to be done. Those were not actions of a lazy person. I'm not a naturally lazy person. So what really hit me was that most of us have been collecting evidence of our abilities, of our potential, our whole lives, right? But we don't ever stop and look back at how great we are, how capable we are. We are too hard on ourselves. So I want you to make a list of the times that you have taken action, that you have succeeded, that you have done something about the dreams and the ambitions that you have. Collect the evidence for your greatness. Because the reason why this is so important is in order for you to take action, you need to have the confidence to take the action. But what happens is when we're so hard on ourselves and we put labels like laziness on our identity, it's hard to fight against that belief of ourselves. We have to believe bigger about ourselves. right? We have to understand that we're not the superficial things that we see. We're deeper than that. We're filled with potential and abilities, right? So if you look at your past, I think that is where you find the clues. That is where you find the evidence. So go back in your past and look at what used to inspire you, right? What used to drive you to take action, and who was that person, and how can you embody that version of you now so that you can take action? I know that it can be difficult to see past the procrastination, right? Because you're beating yourself up. You're beating yourself up. You're not taking action and you're beating yourself up, and it's like a cycle. It's a cycle. Instead of beating yourself up and being hard on yourself, I encourage you to practice self-compassion. Remember who you are and what you're capable of. It's so important that we understand who we are, how capable we are, that we are very clear that we have the ability to do the things we want to do. I know a lot of you, maybe the reason why you haven't taken action is because you don't think you can. You don't feel good enough. Oh God, that is such a deep wound, feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you don't have what it takes. But I'm encouraging you and just really imploring you to go back to your past wins, make the case for your abilities and your potential. Really just remind yourself and affirm yourself to be capable, to be the person that takes actions on their dreams. Your self-image, your self-concept, the most important things you can do also can be one of the strongest blocks to you taking action. If when you look in the mirror, you don't see someone who can do it, you won't do it. Okay, so it's important to not just willy-nilly put labels on ourselves that are not completely the truth. The truth of who you are is always more nuanced, right? It's never just black and white. And I know social media, we use those black and white language to get attention, to get you to click. And sometimes you might, because you are thinking those things. But I'm here to tell you that I don't think you're lazy. I think you're not inspired. I think maybe you don't think of yourself as capable. Maybe you need to work on your self-confidence. So say better things about yourself. Next thing we have to do here is to define the stakes. Like I was telling you earlier, whenever the stakes were high enough, when I knew why it was important for me to take action, I always took action. And something that really, really, really helped me to do this is this concept called the anti-vision. I can't take credit for this. I actually learned this from a YouTuber here called Danko, Dankoe. If you're not following him, I think he's a good one to follow. I'll try to remember to post a video about the anti-vision that he talks about. But essentially, the concept of an anti-vision is, in addition to creating a vision board, in addition to being clear about what you want, also be clear about what you don't want. Ask yourself, not just what I want, but what don't I want? What will happen if I don't take action? What are the consequences of my inaction? So when I first heard of this concept, I thought it was such a negative thing to do, to think about what you don't want and to give energy to that, but it works. It's not something you're going to do all the time, but it's something that you do. I think of it as like an emergency thing that you do when you just really need to wake yourself up. Sometimes we just need a wake up call, right? We just need something to like awaken us and be aware, like, hey, look around, you're messing up your life. You're going down the wrong path. If you keep doing this, if you keep going down that route, you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be. And I think a lot of us kind of need that wake up call every now and again. So whenever I feel blocked or lazy, I find it important to remind myself of the consequences of not taking action and really see the anti-vision, like see what will happen if I keep going down that route. If you're like a person who likes to do meditation, I would even encourage you to close your eyes and really like go inside of your head and create like a movie in your head and really see it. Like, hey, if I keep eating the fried foods and if I keep eating the sugary foods and if I keep eating the pizzas and doing the things I'm not supposed to be doing, if I keep going home and watching TV instead of working out, right? If I keep going down that route, where will that take me? Is that somewhere I want to be? That is a powerful exercise. We need to know what will happen because sometimes we're sleepwalking through life and we need something to wake us up, something to remind you, wake you up and open your eyes and see like, hey, you are ruining your life and you might regret it one day. We don't want that for you. So wake up and do something different. I'll give you an example of this, right? For years, I treated my dream of being an author like it was just a hobby, something I used to like when I was a kid, something I would get to someday. I never really took it seriously. But then I created my anti-vision and I realized that if I didn't write that book, I would die with my ideas still inside me. I would never know what it feels like to have someone be helped or be transformed by me sharing my experiences, by my words. That I would get to the end of my life knowing that I didn't live up to my full potential, that I would live my life with the frustration of not going after that dream. And it was just when I did this, I cried because I just did not want that for me. It woke me up and I realized, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. This is not just a hobby I get to someday. This is something I really want to do before I die. And I don't know when that's going to happen. So I have to start taking action now. Look, most of our focus I know can be on positive visualization. People talk a lot about doing that, affirming yourself. I just talked about that and doing vision board. But I think it's good to see the full picture. Don't just define the dream, define the dread. Right? Define the thing you don't want so that you don't do the things that will get you there. When you see that your actions are leading you to a place that you don't want to be, that's how you create the urgency to take action. That's how you create create change. Your anti-vision shows you what's at stake if you don't change. No one can do that for you. You have to be the one to see it for yourself. So grab your journal and really ask yourself honestly, if I completely give up on this goal, this ambition, this dream, what would my life look like in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, right? List all of the negative consequences that will happen if you give up on these dreams, because that's what you're doing when you're not taking action. You're giving up on yourself and you're giving up on your dreams and your goals and your ambitions. And it's important for you to understand the consequences of doing that. And I recommend, revisiting those consequences and those same journal prompts whenever you're losing focus. I think it's one of the things that always wakes me back up and make me want to take action, right? It's one of the fastest way to get me back to being motivated is understanding that I'm taking myself somewhere I don't want to go. So I want to leave you with a book recommendation that really helped me with this as well. This book is called The 5 Regrets of the Dying. Because I think when you're in that stage, you have the desire, you have the ambition, but you're not taking action. I think it's because you're sleepwalking through your life. So you need all the wake-up calls you can get. And this book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, was one of my wake-up calls, right? It was a book written by this nurse. She was interviewing her patients that were about to die, right? Essentially just writing down her patients' end-of-life reflections, essentially just what was going on through their minds as they were on their deathbed. And honestly, that book really shifted my perspective. It reminded me that no one is coming to save me. That's why I have to be aware. That's why I have to understand the consequences of my action, because no one's going to write the book for me. No one's going to take the actions for me. It helped me to clarify what truly matters in my life. It helped me to stop procrastinating because now I understood the consequences of that. And it helped me to start living a life that I will not regret. Here's the main takeaway from that book that really just did it for me, right? The number one regret of the dying was not living an authentic life. They regretted not honoring their own dreams and their own desires because they were too busy people pleasing. And I know I didn't want that for me. And that's why I talked to you guys earlier about making sure that your ambitions are really yours, because the number one regret of the dying was that they were so busy people pleasing that they didn't honor their own dreams and their own desires. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me, right? So that is really one of the things that helped me go from being lazy and distracted and just like going through life, sleepwalking through life, going with the flow, to being more intentional, right? More disciplined and showing up for myself even when I didn't want to, because I understood that it was my responsibility to honor my dreams. No one is going to do it for me. Your dreams are yours, right? The benefits of going after your dreams will be yours as well. And the consequences of not doing it as well, not going after your dreams, will be yours as well. So you get to choose your hard, right? Both options are hard. It's hard to take action sometimes when you just want to lay out and watch Netflix, but it's also hard getting to your deathbed knowing you didn't try. Choose your heart. I'm choosing to take intentional action towards my dreams because, if there was a balance, I think the regret will hurt more, at least for me. And so that's what shifted me, not taking action to taking action and being more intentional. That's what made me want to show up even when I didn't want to, even when I was tired. That is what helped me to show up consistently and intentionally, regardless of what was going on in my life and regardless of what I felt like. So now I've been so consistent. Like I'm working on my book proposal. I'm writing more on Twitter. Follow me. I'm just like really just looking for my voice and understanding my message and just really being very intentional about my purpose in this life, and not just thinking about it, not just talking about it, not just believing in it, but also very much so taking actions towards it. I want to know what it's like to die empty. I want to know what it's like to get on my deathbed and feeling like, okay, if it's my time, it's my time, because I really did it all. I really just want to go on the adventure that is life and stop playing it so safe and really just going after all of my dreams. And I think I want that for you as well. I think you want that for yourself as well, deep down. I want to end with this quote by Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles Monroe. He is one of my favorite teachers and I recommend everything he does. All his books are amazing to me. The wealthiest place on the planet is just down the road. It's the cemetery, because there lie buried companies that were never started, inventions that were never made, best-selling books that were never written, and masterpieces that were never painted. In the cemetery, he says, is buried the greatest treasure, which is untapped potential. That is what is at stake here. You have potential. I'm getting really emotional here because I really, really feel deeply about this. And I truly believe that you wouldn't have that ambition. You wouldn't have that dream. You wouldn't have those goals, that desire, if you didn't have the potential to do it. And when we don't take action, we're not tapping into that. We're wasting it, because whatever you don't use, you're wasting. And I would hate for you to not know the greatness that lies inside of you, to not know the fullness of your potential, to not having had experienced your potential. I feel called to share the story really quickly, then I'll be done. When I came to America, I was 13 years old. I was an immigrant. I came from Haiti to Florida, and I didn't speak English, but I was really smart in Haiti. I was actually one of the smartest kids in my school, but they didn't know that. And I had teachers tell me, and kids calling me slow and dumb and stupid because I didn't understand them, because I didn't speak the language. And I remember how it felt like to be told that I didn't have what it took, that I didn't have potential. But looking back now and seeing where I am now, I'm gonna mess my makeup up. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my life now. And if I listened to them, I wouldn't be here because they were wrong about me. I did have what it takes. I had what it takes to go to college on a full ride scholarship. I had what it takes to go to law school and graduate with honors. I had what it takes to pass one of the hardest exams, the bar exam, on my first try. I had what it takes to work as an attorney and be successful at it. I had what it takes to earn 6 figures. I had what it takes this whole time, but I had people telling me I didn't. And if I listened to them, I wouldn't be here. And some of you are not taking action, maybe because deep down, you maybe still have wounds from your past of people telling you you couldn't do it. I'm telling you, you can. I'm telling you that you have that dream for a reason. I'm telling you that every single desire and dream and goal that you have, you wouldn't have it if you couldn't do it. You wouldn't. You have that dream for a reason. It's yours. Own it. Own it by acting on it. Act on it to make it yours. But I love you guys so much. I want you to make all of your dreams a reality. I feel like I'm like a dream cheerleader. I really just believe in the power of dreams and the power of living out your dreams, because I can tell you it feels better to live it out than to just think about it. I would love to know, what is the one dream that you're ready to take action on, right? Now that you know that that dream is yours and it's your time to own it, it's your time to act on it, and it's your time to make it yours. Share in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys are dreaming about. And if you found the video helpful, subscribe for more content like this. Let me know what else I can do to help you bring your dreams into reality. And I will have other videos up here for you to watch, and I will see you in the next one. Love you so much. Bye.